Perfect.
Question of the week. Why, in your opinion, is BJJ so popular?
I think there's a couple things besides JRE, and I think because I tell you those stories, like remember how I told you those stories back in the day when hey, you gonna buy me a drink?
Yeah, no, but
You just there. Later, Ed. I know it's fun. That's Little John's joke. I stole it. John.
Yeah.
What was it? At least buy him a drink.
Yeah. Look at me weird. Buy me a drink first.
No, I think it took its like natural progression. Remember I was telling you stories of like when the Worlds were like at Cal State Dominguez in like a high school sized gym. It was
Yeah.
like, I think it was, I don't even know if it was a practice gym. Small high school stadium. Only one side of the bleachers was down because that's all
Yeah.
that was needed.
Yeah.
Maybe one other side.
Yeah.
Nobody
75,
stands.
maybe 100 people. Yeah.
Yeah, it was not like. And then I think people like those celebrities like Ashton Kutcher and like Venom, that guy, Joe Rogan, obviously all his boys.
Yeah.
Having Eddie Bravo on there,
Yeah.
talk about Machado Brothers,
Yeah. Keanu Reeves.
all of those things.
Al Bundy.
Later, Hilo. See you. I think that natural progression of everybody starting to hear about it and just, like all those podcasts from like Jocko, everybody like, oh, it's the best thing ever. And Jocko's an old school 1990s type of OG in jiu-jitsu. So like you have all those people talking about it, like everybody needs to try it, like Tim Kennedy's.
Mm-hmm.
And then too, the explosion of MMA,
UFC.
the UFC.
Yeah.
Then you got like Bellator. You got all these other smaller organizations. Like it became more and more popular. MMA, right?
One, Glory.
UFC,
Yeah.
So I think too, it's one of the closest like combative. Say that in quotes because we don't strike unless we're doing like self-defense type stuff.
Combat jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's one of the closer ones. Like, well, even in here you could do self-defense where it's like, oh, your punches are gonna come your way. You got to use fundamental techniques.
Oh, we've done that too, where
Yeah,
you
we've
throw
done
on
that.
gloves.
Yeah, drop gloves and then just roll.
Yeah.
with some punches.
Yeah.
So I think, in my opinion, that it's one of the closest things that you can do to MMA that's realistic without getting your ass beat, like in MMA all the
Yeah.
time. Because MMA is tough on your body. You got to do your Muay Thai, your wrestling, your Jiu-Jitsu. It's tough on your body. It's like wrestling, but with punches. That's
like
the pace of it.
It's like diet wrestling.
Yeah, it's really like a high-paced, like brutal, rough, high-paced thing. You got punches to deal with and all of that. So I think jiu-jitsu is like similar to wrestling in a sense that it's maybe not as harsh of a pace, but it can be at times in certain transitions, right? Some of the paces are like really high intense and really technical, really.
Yeah. Especially at the higher level. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you just get two technical guys in your gym that understand it. It's gonna be a hard round.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's one of those things. It pushes you, like I always say, it pushes the envelope but doesn't tear it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things too. You can learn to defend yourself very well without getting all jacked up and beat up with black eyes and going to work.
Yeah.
For the most part, you'll have your occasions where you get nose to nose, face to face, eye to
Now,
eye.
if we could unlock that inner professor inside of you, that deeper mentality, do you think, because I've heard it said before, that like we're all sort of barbarians, sort of locked in there. Do you think that the jiu-jitsu, the what is it about like us fighting each other that we either find joy in is, if it was just the cardio, like we'd just go for a run or, like what is it about the combatives itself that you think makes jiu-jitsu so?
Well, yeah, I think some of it, is that whole like that instinct of like you're saying is like, if you take it back as time was in the 1800s, 1900s, a lot of stuff there was you had to fight.
Yeah.
A lot of scenarios, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like in our DNA to kind of to protect ourselves and protect others, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of in our nature to be a protector, you know? And I think it's for some guys, like for you and myself, we like being put in bad positions. I'm like, damn, that was hard. Like,
Yeah.
getting smashed a little bit, like, you know, I guess it's like one of those mental things, like you're doing something hard that can possibly save yourself at some point, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know how to put it. I think it's, like you said, it's somewhat of a primal instinct in us. That,
Do you think that there's something about like learning the technique, applying the technique, where it's like problem solving, and because you sort of learn the technique and problem solved, it's like hypothetically I would have won this primal battle or whatever.
right. I think it's kind of almost like, it's like doing Chinese algebra and doing wrestling at the same time, and the reward is like finishing the math equation.
Yeah.
And hitting it on somebody.
Yeah.
Someone tries to trick you with the problem, and you solve it.
Yeah. Boom. Your arm's broken.
And it's like one of those, like, for me anyways too, like it was always like, dang, I did the move, a new move that I worked.
Yeah.
And it worked. You know, so that's another thing too for some of us too. It's like when you hit the moves that you've been practicing,
Yeah,
in a hard, live, resistant environment, resistance-filled environment, it's like, dang,
Yeah.
you get like that.
That little boost of
Yeah.
like morphine or whatever, or
dopamine.
endorphins. Yeah.
Yeah. And it feels good. Like if this was a live, real thing in the street,
Yeah.
I would have won. Like
Yeah.
I would be able to hit this. Hey, Snow Cone, don't leave. I have your stuff. Yeah, I think that's too. It's like a gratification type thing, and it's not easy, and not a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing too. It's a small niche community. Like I told you, I went to that one store, and it turns out that guy knows, the owner knows a bunch of the guys I know.
They
from
used to
back in
train.
New York.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, going back to what you were saying, is that it's a tough thing to do, and not a lot of people like to do it, but it's in all of us. It's just a matter of who taps into it, you know? And I think that's where the popularity, like, you got those tough dudes, like, not in quotes, but he is tough, Jocko.
Yeah.
Those, Mitch Aguilar, he's an MMA fighter
David
too.
Coggins.
No, he doesn't do MMA. or
Oh,
jiu-jitsu.
okay. Yeah.
He just runs.
Oh, yeah.
But you got mentally tough guys like that. They're just saying like, hey man, this stuff's gonna change your life.
Yeah.
And they're for real. And then, you know, you got people like Joe Rogan talking about it, who's very, very famous in the podcast world and MMA world. And when he says the benefits of it, people kind of, you know, listen to it a little bit and they try it on their own. They're like, oh shit, probably right.
Yeah.
So the popularity starts to grow, and then, you know, they tap into their own primal instinct of being a protector, you know, like sheepdog response. So
Yeah.
being a protector, you know, it's not for, you know, it's just for one of those reasons. Like if you ever had to use it, you know, you've been through hard positions.
Yeah, I have that skill set.
That skill set.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's really about. Like hunter and gatherers, it's just like you're building a skill set.
Yeah.
You know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. Awesome. Thanks, Bob.